The aroma of a juicy soup usually filled Ngozi with warmth, a culinary hug from her husband Chinedu. But today it felt like a heavy blanket suffocating her. She meticulously spooned the rich stew into a bowl, her mind replaying the afternoon's events. Chinedu had been home early, a rarity. He'd walked into their bedroom, a smile on his face, only to have it evaporate as he saw her. Not just her, but also Emeka, his cousin, scrambling to pull up his wrapper. The scene, frozen in time for a painful second, was etched into his memory forever. He hadn't shouted. He hadn't thrown anything. He'd simply stood there, his eyes, usually so full of gentle affection, now cold and distant. "Ngozi," he'd said, his voice flat, "I thought we had something." Then he'd turned and walked out, his footsteps echoing the finality of his departure. Ngozi had tried to explain, to apologize, but the words had died in her throat. Shame and a dawning fear had gripped her. Emeka, flustered and apologetic, had quickly dressed and left, leaving her alone in the wreckage of her betrayal. Days turned into weeks. Chinedu didn't return. Her phone calls went unanswered. The small, comfortable home they shared, a haven of their traditional Igbo union, began to feel like a cage. Bills started piling up, the kind she'd never had to worry about before. Chinedu had always handled everything. A silent provider whose financial prowess she had never questioned nor truly understood. One afternoon, a formal-looking man arrived at their door. He introduced himself as Chinedu's lawyer. Ngozi's heart pounded. She knew this day would come. "Madam Ngozi," the lawyer began, his tone polite but firm, "Mr. Chinedu has instructed me to inform you that he will be moving his belongings from this property within the week. As you are aware, your union was never legally recognized by the state, only traditionally." Ngozi nodded, a lump in her throat. They had chosen the traditional path, a celebration rich with culture and family, but without the official papers. At the time it had seemed romantic, a testament to their deep trust. Now it was her undoing. Furthermore, the lawyer continued, "Mr. Chinedu has also instructed me to inform you that his financial support will cease immediately. This property, and indeed all his assets, were acquired solely in his name. You have no legal claim." Ngozi stared at him, bewildered. But Chinedu is a successful businessman," she stammered, thinking of his small, seemingly modest import-export business. The lawyer offered a tight, almost pitying smile. "Madam, Mr. Chinedu owns several corporations across the continent. He has extensive investments in real estate and international trade. He is, to put it simply, a very wealthy man." A cold wave washed over Ngozi. A very wealthy man? Chinedu? The man who drove a reliable but unremarkable car, who wore good but not extravagant clothes. The man she had thought of as comfortable, but certainly not rich. The lawyer pulled out a thick document. "This is a detailed list of his assets. You will find that the modest lifestyle you shared was merely a fraction of his true wealth. He chose to keep it discreet." He paused, his gaze softening slightly. He was a man who valued simplicity and genuine connection above all else. Ngozi felt a sickening lurch in her stomach. She had dismissed his quiet nature as shyness, his frugality as good sense. She had never once suspected the vast empire he commanded. She had truly believed she knew her husband. As the lawyer left, and Ngozi sank onto the sofa. The silence of the house pressed in on her. She had betrayed not just a loving husband, but a man of immense wealth and quiet dignity. And in doing so, she had not only lost him, but also the comfortable life she had taken for granted, leaving her with nothing but the bitter taste of regret and the stark reality of her own foolishness. She was truly, utterly penniless.